So every now and then, you'll see a weird tree. This is one of those. I've actually had several weird trees I've been finding. Some of them are from the national park I was at. Well, I'll show you a little montage here in a second. But like this one, interesting story behind it. It must have, like early in its life, got split in two by a lightning bolt maybe. One side went over this way, one side went over that way. Kept growing, survived it. One shot up that way, one shot up that way. Now it's actually two trees out of one massive tree, I think. Or it could have been like two seeds were planted right next to each other and they kind of merged. And then they got split apart somehow, maybe a windstorm. Now it's like a big W shape, or U shape. Be cool to just like sit in it like a beast. The Druid's Throne. Look upon my woods.
Alright, so I'm just going to go over some of my pictures that I took while I was out foraging. So this first one is from the Grove of the Ancients area, kind of near the Coyote Den. But it kind of splits out like a giant bush. It has like 5 or 6 trunks, like all multiple. Here's a close-up of the trunks. You can see it's like a cluster of a bunch of trees that all grew together. I guess this one a lot of seeds land in the same place and they all sprout or something. I don't know. It's kind of rare. I guess I'll go over some of my mushroom pictures too. This is a giant sinkhole I found. This is the national park. Yeah. Because there's a lot of caves in this area. This is, I think, probably leads into a cave. There's a few angles of it. And then here's another actual cave I found. I think I already talked about this in one of my videos, didn't I? Or no, I showed it in my Discord. It's really scary because if you fell into that, you'd probably die. Because it's super steep. Probably couldn't get out of it. Okay, here's another tree. This is a cedar tree with absolutely no leaves on it at all. It's almost like it died or something, or maybe got a disease and the leaves fell off. And the branches on cedars, they really look like skeleton bones or antlers or something. And this is what it looks like, this strip completely bare. Kind of a weird thing. Then we got this tree here. This one was like one type of bark on the bottom, and then it like disappeared and it turned into a different type of bark halfway up. I don't know if it had like a disease or maybe it's got a growth on the bottom of the bark, because it looks like a persimmon tree or something kind of on the bottom. It looks like a different kind of tree on top. I don't know what just happened to that one tree either. It should happen to like all the trees around if it was like some kind of storm or radiation or something blew it off. I don't know. Then we got this bendy tree. This one just like did a complete like a U shape sort of, then it kept growing straight after a while. Because trees always grow straight up because that's where the sun is. Unless something happens to force them into like a weird position and then they go straight up. Then we also got this grassy area. I think this was in the national park. It's just like a really nice looking area I filmed. I don't know why. Just because it looked cool. It looked like a prime mushroom spot. Didn't find any there though. Then I found these rocks that were like standing like on the left there. You can see those rocks are stacked on top of each other. Like, I don't know if that's Sam Squinch activity or maybe they were kind of used as markers for something. It's on the edge of this ravine, this giant ravine here, where you can't really see how steep it is, but it's a big creek. Actually, that'd probably be a good crawdad creek. I may have to go back there and look for crawdads. Of course, a lot of this is like limestone, like rain runoff, so I'm not sure if it actually comes from wherever normal creeks come from that have like critters in them, so there might not be anything in this like crawdads. Here's another picture of me like standing on a log because my mom texted me when I was at this spot and I was going to send her back pictures of where I was at just to freak her out. Did I already put this in the video? I might have. Really nice looking creek though. Alright, here's my original, like on March 13th, Friday the 13th, I found my first mushroom. And then I found this many, March 15th. And then I found this many, about 3-4 days later. I went back and see if it grew any more. That was I thought that was a lot of mushrooms at the time, which I guess it kind of is. I had like 3 meals off of that. But then I started finding the mother lode. Then I found this one tiny one on a hill behind my house. Then I found the original motherlode bunch, the ancients. And I took a picture of one in my hand to show how big it was. And then I went back after I went and got my bags, and I found this many. That's what they look like in a bowl, cut up. Then I went back the next day and I found like this handful. Didn't really find many that day. And then I went back and I found that one great big one. I didn't have a picture of it, I just had it on video. And then I found the 2 toilet spot. Found all these.